Now, the United States cannot afford to ignore investment and trade with Africa now that countries such as China and India are increasingly investing in African countries, more so because 6 of the 10 fastest growing economies are to be found on the continent. In an interview for tonight's edition of Political Exchange, I asked the US Undersecretary of State Robert Hormats, who is heading his country's delegation to that World Economic Forum Africa chapter, which gets underway in Cape Town tomorrow, what he wants to hear come out of that gathering.
Well, there are 3 that I would touch on. One is the importance of education and skills training. I think it's very important to have inclusive growth. While GDP rates may grow, some of that is in raw materials, and that's very, very good. It earns a lot of money, it's good for GDP, but the question is, can countries convert the benefits of raw material earnings into increased emphasis on education, better training.
It's a sustainable approach to economic development.
A sustainable approach, environmentally sustainable, but very importantly from a human capital point of view, sustainable. That's going to be very important. And we have a number of programs with respect to energy capacity in governments, called Energy Capacity in Governments Initiative, where we work with countries, not just African countries, but countries all over the world, to help them to develop programs, governance programs that enable them to make sure that the earnings from these raw materials are transparent, that the money is used for development purposes and really benefits larger numbers of people. So inclusive growth is one that will, and also of course helps in diversification. That's one that's very important. The second one is energy connectivity. There's a lot of energy here, but the energy connectivity in Africa is not.
It's patchy.
It's patchy, yes. And to work this out, work this through is very important. And the third is reducing barriers to trade within Africa. The World Bank has just come up with a report on sort of fragmented Africa, where the time it takes to move things across borders is very long, very costly, and disrupts rather than enhances trade among African countries. If they could deal with that, and Africa has the capacity to deal with that, then I think that would enhance growth, enhance trade, and enhance investment, since they would see a bigger, more seamless market.